Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. For those who know me well, you will know that my mantra is live, learn and pass it on, and that I absolutely love the opportunity to learn something new at every opportunity and hopefully every day, and to take that learning or those gifts that we've been able to receive from the many books and book summaries that are available in our lives, and take those and generate a vlog, a video, and pass on any life hacks that we can use to not only improve our daily lives but also the lives of those people around us. And you can quite understand that once you've done about 1,500 vlogs, the material varies quite dramatically. And today I'm going to touch on a topic that I haven't really touched on before, but it's delivered here in a book summary to allow us to at least think about these things and to try and make sense of our lives and help put things into perspective. The book that I'm going to talk about today is authored by a fellow named David Schnarch. And the book is entitled Intimacy and Desire, and it's a book about relationships and how to understand the different needs from the different people within that relationship, and how those desires and those needs change over time and are not static, but are evolving and moving. And I guess the important lesson to understand is that we're all different. We're all created differently. We're all unique. And we're all, as we said and mentioned before, we're all growing and developing and changing over time at different paces, at different rates of change. So what we're saying here is that whilst we all may commence from the same point when we come together, when we join together in a relationship, the journey over life varies, and we need to be cognizant, we need to be sensitive to the fact that some people change quickly, other people change slowly, and we need to be observant and on guard to identify those changes, and to work with our partners, to work with our families and work with our friends to understand them and to help them continue to grow and develop in a productive and a positive way. So this book here talks about stuff, I guess, which is fairly confronting to many. It's not a sort of topic that would be discussed easily and openly within a Greek family or any family, to put it as such, because these sorts of topics which revolve around sex are quite private and quite, I guess, difficult and sensitive for many people. But the author kicks off this tricky topic by saying that a solid sense of self develops from confronting yourself and challenging yourself to do what's right and earning your own self-respect. So what we're saying here is that we basically need to take responsibility and accountability for our own lives, to understand ourselves better, to know ourselves better, so that we can learn to then work to our strengths and our weaknesses, and not to be left behind, or not to be left wanting at a later date when it's all too late and the ship has sailed, so to speak. So we'll kick off this book summary by just going and doing a walk and talk and see where it leads us. And as I say, I'm not an expert on this topic, but what I am is a messenger, and what I can do is I can read and I can interpret. And one of the gifts that I have is that because I've done over 1,500 vlogs, I've been through 1,500 book summaries, then what I can do is I can add value by just taking some of that accumulated knowledge that I've been able to touch on through the many vlogs and the many book summaries that I've read, and I can use it to complement and supplement what the author says in their book, and just put hopefully a positive spin on it based on my own experiences, my own learnings, and my own observations. So the author kicks off the book by talking about the fact that in each long-term relationship there will be a person who is a low desire partner and a person who's a high desire partner. I guess it's all relative at the end of the day, and what the author here is trying to highlight is that because we're different, it's all relative. So one person's going to be a high desire partner, so a higher desire partner, and the other one's going to be a lower desire partner. You're not going to find anybody who is going to match your levels of desire 100% of the time, all the time. So the first key point, I guess, the first key reflection is to embrace, understand and appreciate that we are all different. We are all very, very different from each other, and that happens to be the same in all areas of our lives. We've all had a unique and different past. We're all experiencing a unique and very different present. I am here, you're somewhere else, and we're all going to experience a unique and different future. So we're all different from each other, there's no doubt about that. But we also need to understand and appreciate that we're all different from each other, and we're all different for each other. So those differences that we have are not a disadvantage, they're actually an advantage, and we can use them to bring out the best in ourselves and our partners and other people around us by being able to complement and supplement their strengths and weaknesses with our strengths and weaknesses. So by yoking together our strengths and weaknesses, hopefully we can deliver a better outcome for all of those involved. So the author here says that one partner will be lower desire and the other one will be a higher desire. So you're never going to be able to match the desires, is what we're trying to say here. So from a sex therapist's perspective, each relationship or each committed relationship will always have its challenges, because desire isn't something that can be switched on and switched off, nor matched. So this is a powerful point. So we all are different, and these differences need to be understood, accepted, and embraced. And it's important to firstly understand what your particular type is. So understand yourself first in order to be able to understand others around you. So what the call to action is from this author is that we all need to do some homework and to first figure out where we sit in the spectrum of desire. So that's a key point. So you need to ask yourself the simple question: are you a high desire partner or a low desire partner? And interestingly enough, the author comments here from a sex therapist perspective that the roles can change over time, and as we mentioned before, it's all relative compared, one to the other. So very interesting points to consider, and as I say, these sorts of topics aren't all that easy to discuss, but we can discuss them because we are grown up, and we do have this material available to us to consider and contemplate. So the author here also says something important, that we need to understand that the low desire partner has the power in the relationship. So this is pretty special and pretty interesting to think about. To think that the low desire partner has all the power in the relationship. Whereas you'd think it'd be the other way around, that the high desire partner would have all the power in the relationship, but it's the other way around. It's the person who limits the supply has the upper hand, which is quite interesting. I'd never quite thought about it that way, but it is a powerful sort of realization. And the other point that the author talks about here is that each relationship has desire struggles, and there is no need to worry that something is wrong with you or your partner, because it happens to everybody. As we said here, it's a relative exercise, and whenever you get two people who come together, then those two people will have different needs. They'll have different dreams. They will have had a different past. They will have a different upbringing. They will have different experiences, different slithers of reality, and all of those things will shape their desire. They'll shape their needs, their wants, their understandings, and their goals. So there's nothing wrong with being a high desire partner or a low desire partner. What's more important is for you to understand where you sit and where your partner sits, and to work together to figure out how you're going to make the most of the time and the relationship that you share together, so that both benefit in the long term without anybody feeling as if they need to cheat or if they need to search for other partners in order to fulfill the extra requirements that they may need. So the call to action from this author is that we need to be collaborative and work as a team and create and develop a collaborative alliance for intimacy. The author also mentions that over time relationships change, We ebb and flow, we grow and develop, and the author encourages all couples to work together, to support each other, because if you don't support each other, you will slowly and surely grow and drift apart. So once again, a clear message there, encouraging communication, collaboration, cooperation, teamwork, and understanding. It's not a race, but you need to at least be aware of what is happening to you and your partner, and to put into perspective and to realise that these things happen to all people, all relationships, regardless of your cultural background, regardless of your age, or regardless of where you sit in that desire spectrum. So the author here talks about a couple of things that people can do, and one is to have a long hug. So the author talks about a 10-minute hug to enable relaxation, to hug your partner, to hug them until they're totally relaxed. And you know, I just know myself, I'm a touchy-feely sort of person, always have been. And this whole concept of the 10-minute hug is something which is quite appealing, to say the least. Just to comfort people. You know that children need to be hugged. We're not talking from a sexual perspective, but just, you know, having grown up and being a parent, you know that throughout the day, kids need reassurance, need a loving hug from their mother or father or grandparent. So we are accustomed and welcome the art of hugging. And getting back to the couples here, that it can be hard in the beginning to do these 10-minute hugs, but apparently they do work, and they will continue to contribute to rekindling and maintaining warmth, intimacy, and an engaging relationship, especially as you're getting older. And I guess, the thought goes, what happens to people who are not in a committed relationship? They too need to be hugged, not from a sexual perspective or an intimate perspective, but just from a filial perspective, from a friendship perspective, to make them feel as if they belong or if they're welcomed. And I do see that women, when they come together as a group, are very much into the hugs, the kisses, the laughter, the comforting, where us blokes don't even shake hands these days. I remember there was once a time when I was at school or when I was growing up where I would always look for an opportunity to shake somebody's hand and give them a pat on the back, a slap on the back. Whereas these days, you look at blokes and it's only when they're drunk, it's only when they've got a belly full of whiskey or beer that they'll become more intimate and more relaxed and open to hugging and just being, just more relaxed, I guess is the best way of saying it. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. Once again, it's not a topic that I'm comfortable in talking about. I don't think anybody is comfortable in talking about these topics, even people in committed relationships. But I guess my role as Jim's 5am Club founder is to put my hand down the hole and pull out the snake and talk about things that other people are not all that comfortable to talk about. because somebody needs to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. Everybody will have challenges throughout their lives, with their relationships, with their intimacy, and as we said, we ebb and flow with our needs. But one thing for sure and for certain is that no two people will ever be exactly the same, and they need to work together, to collaborate together, so that they get the best they can out of the situation that they're involved in, is the best way of describing it. Take care, wishing you all the best. Happy Tuesday, and I look forward to coming to you again from another place with another message of empowerment, where we're able to pick apart another book summary, where we can learn a couple of things, 2 or 3 things that we can use, that we can incorporate into our inventory of skills, and hopefully make our lives better and the lives of the people around us as good, if not better. Take care, everybody. Yassas, and bye for now. And I can't believe that I've been able to speak for 21 minutes on such an awkward topic. Anyway, yassas and bye for now.